One of my specialty dishes that I make every year or so. It is fantastic. Garides Mykonos, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not Greek, but I tried this at a little Greek place in Florida known as Tar Pond Springs. I liked it so much I tried to recreate it, and I think I did a pretty good job of it. It tastes delicious. I think you'll like it. And let's get started making this delicious dish. Alright, here's all the ingredients you need to make this dish. Start over here with some fresh dill. If you don't have fresh, it's okay. But it makes it better if you have fresh stuff. Tomatoes, butter, lemon, onion, of course feta. And you're going to eat a lot of feta, so get a big tub or two smaller tubs. I didn't have olive oil, I ran out, so I'm using canola oil, but use olive oil if you got it. Celery, a couple sticks of that, and rosemary, hopefully you have fresh. Orzo pasta is what we're using today. It's great pasta. It's like a, see that? It looks like almost like rice, but it's a pasta. It's really good if you haven't had it before. Canola olives, I hadn't used it the past couple times, but I'm going to add some in there this time. Shrimp. Unfortunately, I'm not on the coast, so I have to buy frozen shrimp, so that's what I'm using today. Your favorite white wine, and if you could skip out on some of this stuff, but you need this right here, this ouzo. It's a kind of a licorice liqueur type stuff. It's really good, and this is what makes the dish. So if you don't like celery, you could leave that out. If you don't like onions, whatever, you could leave that out. But this is must. This is what gives it the unique taste. Anyway, so I'm going to prep all this up, and we're going to get to cooking. Alright, the good thing about this dish is it only takes like 10 minutes, 12 minutes probably to cook after you've prepped everything up. So I've got some water boiling over there. So I'm going to take about half of this box here, this orzo. This stuff is great. Start that boiling, and it takes 9 to 10 minutes. Did a little bit over half there. 9 to 10 minutes to get going. So we're going to start this pan heating up, and you'll get to see in real time how quick this dish gets put together. And it's outstanding. So I'm going to go ahead, turn it on to like a medium-high heat. Put some oil in there. A tablespoon and a half or so. Didn't show this before, but I always like to put a little crushed red pepper in my oil as it's going. And we are going to go ahead and start these. Here's everything I prepped up real quick. We are going to start with the onions, the celery, and the rosemary. Rosemary's a little tough, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that all in right now. This stuff's going to get cooking. As far as seasoning, you got to put some Greek seasoning in there, right? Yeah. We'll go ahead and pour some of that on the top there. About a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more. And we'll just get that going. Now it's going to release all those awesome flavors. And I meant to say that when I said earlier, this ouzo has a licorice type flavor. It's kind of just blends in. There's a lot of spices that have a licorice type flavor. If you don't like licorice, trust me, you'll still like this dish. If you do like licorice, you'll like this. So if you're like having a dinner party or whatnot and cooking this dish, go ahead and give a small shot to everybody to try. This stuff is actually pretty good if you like licorice. If you don't, it will still be good in this dish. I'm just saying that right now. So that's getting cooked up. Our pasta over there is almost overflowing. The shrimp, these are like thawed pretty much by now. And we're going to put, like I said, this bunch of feta in there. If you like feta, if you like Greek food, this is going to be great. I'm not Greek at all, but I tried this in Tarpon Springs in Florida. There's a little community about an hour north of Clearwater. And this is where I first tried this dish, and so I went home and tried to recreate it like years later. I still make this occasionally, and it's fantastic. It's like awesome. So the ouzo cost about $20. This is $20 at the liquor store. So just give you a price on that. It might sit in your cabinet. That's what I'm saying. You might want to offer some to your guests just to try it out. That's going a little good here. I'm going to add some oregano. I didn't have any fresh, so if you don't have fresh, I add the dry ones. You might also want to add a couple of bay leaves if you have them. I don't have any right now, but I just added a teaspoon or two in there. A little bit more. It seemed like I added too much in there. Gotta get your spices going on. Stir that around again. Letting it stick there a little bit to the bottom. Like I said, we're on medium-high heat. Look at that. Oh, this is so good. Okay. Alright, so like I said, we're doing this in real time, so if you have any questions or comments about this, or anything like that, leave a comment below and I'll try to answer them. Or if you have a suggestion or if you're Greek, and tell me, am I doing a good job at this? I know it tastes good. I think I'm doing it pretty darn good. But alright, hopefully I'm not steaming up the lens right there. Alright, this has been going for a little bit. You know what? I didn't set a timer for those veggies, or for the pasta. So we're just going to look at the timer here on the thing. We are at 5 minutes. So, alright, so garlic. Add garlic in there. Get that cooking for a little bit. In most recipes, if you look at a recipe, it will say like a clove or two of garlic. I always add double what it says. Love me some garlic. Let that cook for about 30 seconds or so. Kind of release all that. Kind of add just a touch more of the Greek seasoning there. Alright. So what else do I have left? I've got tomatoes. There's about, I put 4 in here. And I have the dill and the katamala olives, and of course the feta and the shrimp. So we're just cooking these up so they'll get a little bit tender. Nice there. Alright, they cook for a little bit. Let's go ahead and add the shrimp. Now, there's not really any liquid in here. So let's add those straight in there. Stir them around a little bit. And then, these are deveined, peeled with tail on. So it makes it easy. That's why I like. Walmart shrimp is actually pretty good quality. That's where this came from. And it's actually decently priced too, believe it or not. It's one of the few things I do buy from Walmart. So we're just going to let that sit for a minute. Turn this pasta down a little bit. Stir it up over here. Make sure it's not sticking. Oh, it's still good. Alright, what's your favorite Greek dish? Do you have a favorite? Spanakopita I love. I do love some gyros. cook for a little bit. I'm going to add some of this ouzo just so it burns off. There's actually, there's alcohol in here, so add about 2 shots of that. Let that alcohol burn off. That flavor going on. I can smell it. It's coming together nicely. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my butter. I have a whole stick here, but I'm going to take 1/4 of it. Add it to here. Let that melt down. And sauce is coming together nicely. Oh yeah. Got butter and all that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that butter melt down just a slight bit more. Kind of mix everything together. You can put a little lemon zest in there. If you have one of these microplanes, just kind of give it a little bit, wake up those shrimp with a little bit of lemon zest there. Alright. Nice. We're going to use the rest of that lemon here in a second. So all these flavors are coming together. Alright, at this point I'm just going to go ahead and add our tomatoes. I put four of those ones that you saw at the beginning. Just going to cook down a little bit. Going to give it a second, and then all together. I'm going to add half of the dill I had, probably 2/3 of the dill that I had there chopped. That right there. Oh, with that. That'll be so good. Alright. Now I'm going to add a little bit of wine. A couple of glugs of it. Another couple tablespoons of butter. Oh, sorry. That cooked down. I'll leave this open. It depends on how the liquid here is. I would cover it if it was like, not a lot of liquid, but we're looking good. So this is kind of like the sauce that's going to be on the pasta. So the shrimp aren't overcooked, as you can see there. They're doing nicely. They're cooking up great. I'm going to get some more of that liquid to evaporate. But we're also going to thicken up that liquid. So all this feta, we're going to add about half of it there right now. This is a 12-ounce tub. Look at that. This will thicken that liquid up right there. Oh, look at that goodness. Alright, I'm going to turn that pasta off. It's about done. We're sitting at, yeah. As this sit here and stews a little bit, I'm going to drain off my pasta. You can see it here. It's like I said, it's kind of like rice. So you could do it 2 ways. You could throw it in here, down a little bit, spoon it a little bit fast, or you could put this dish on top of it. I think Depends on how much liquid's in here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and throw it in here. Not too much. I'm going to hold off on a little bit of that. Just get going. There we go. And right at this point, I'm going to throw in the rest of that dill, those Guatemala olives, and the rest of this feta. And to finish it off, what we're going to do is cut that lemon in half and just kind of hold your hand so don't get any seeds in there. And we're going to put all this lemon in there. Look at that. I'm going to get it good. Stir it up one more time. Look at that. Shrimp, feta cheese. Alright. Turn the heat down. See how that feta kind of give this a little taste, see if it needs salt and pepper. That is good. I'm going to take it off the heat so everything's cooked. And I'm just going to plate it up, and you will get to see it once it's plated up. Ooh, delicious Greek-inspired meal, Garides Mykonos, I think is how you pronounce it. But it's got shrimp in there. It's got feta cheese. It's got Guatemala olives. It's got butter. It's got wine, and it's got a little secret ingredient known as uzo in it. So